Welcome into SportBet Extra. I'm your host, Paul Rami, here every Monday through Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. We are back. We are good to go on X now. All that stuff is done. Looks like it's working fine. What a weekend we had. End of February was kind of okay, but hey, you know what? We took the last few days off in February, finished positive, and yesterday had a great start to March. So we'll talk about that. I'll pull up that record. I'm going to show the monthly total for every month since we've been back with our show here, and then just kind of the overall total as well, and where we're at for, record-wise in total for every sport. Talk about some college basketball, talk a little bit of NBA, kind of a short show, not a lot going on today, so we'll just get right into it now. So we'll start by putting up the monthly record. So like we said, January was the only negative month so far, and we made that back and some last month in February. So October started the show back up right away, plus 3 units, a little over 3 units there. November was a great month there, 19.78. December was nice and steady, plus 5.39 units there. January struggled. It happens, minus 6.02 units. And then February brought us back last month, another plus 15.07 units. So total overall plus 40.58 units so far since we've had our show back. NBA record there, 39-31. College basketball, nice record there, 164-122 with 3 pushes. Again, MLB, NFL, and college football, we don't really pay too much attention to those right now. Those are done for the season. MLB, though, starting back very soon. That's going to be a fun one, so we'll erase that. That'll go more to an all-time record, and then we'll start a clean slate for 2026 once MLB starts there. But here's where we're at, 56% plus 40.58 units. Yesterday was a great day there. Went 3-0. Timberwolves plus 3.5. They went outright. Illinois State, nice comeback win there, -1. They win and cover that. And Charleston plus 5.5, winning outright against UNC Wilmington. So nice 3-0 start to March. Let's just, again, continue that momentum. Let's just have March be another positive month and just make 2026, man, a great year. So this is where we're at since October. Again, all of my plays are posted over on sportbetextra.com. All you've got to do is go check it out there. Go get you a free 7-day trial. After that, hop back on for another 1 week, 1 month, 3 months. All the different package options are there. But again, it's all posted, all transparent. Everything's in there. You just got to go join and start winning with me. So there's where we are. Again, this show, Monday through Thursday, I'm here as long as we don't have conflicts. Usually there's not a problem. Sometimes things come up and we're having issues. But yeah, you know what? We're just going to continue to get the show going Monday through Thursday. Same time here whenever we get a chance. So let's just get right into today. Like I said, today's going to be a pretty quick show. Not a lot of action in the NBA or college basketball. Definitely a lot more tomorrow. 4 games today in the NBA. Rockets, Wizards there. Celtics at the Bucks. Nuggets at the Jazz, and Clippers at the Warriors. I will also be pulling up the NBA betting strategy because we do have some plays on that, I believe, tomorrow. I've got to double check. I've got to go through all of March. It's been a busy weekend, but I've got to go through all of March and prepare for our NBA betting strategy to make sure we've got all those games locked as well and on the board and tracked. Again, that betting strategy so far I've got to pull up the record here. 20-16. Two more games that happened that I've got to add on to the record. So 20-16 for the moment. Tomorrow I'll have it updated. Like I said, this weekend's been pretty busy. So 20-16 currently with the NBA betting strategy. But looking at today's games, Rockets at the Wizards. Rockets laying that 14.5 number there, coming off that loss on the road against the Heat. Third game of the road trip. I mean, nice one at Magic. Tough loss there at the Heat. Now we're going on to take the Wizards and then back home against the Warriors. So it's kind of a tough spot. It's one of those games. Are they going to really show up for this game against the Wizards? They're kind of thinking, it's the Wizards. So why do they need to go win by 14.5? I mean, it'll probably just happen because it is the Wizards. But, it's interesting. That team is just kind of, man, you don't know. They could cover. They're a bad team, but they could cover. So just kind of looking through it right now, what they've done recently, any sort of injuries, nothing that really stands out yet. Jabari Smith is out, but that's not going to hinder them too much. And then on Washington side, I mean, just full of injuries and just guys out. Cam Whitmore, Anthony Davis, Alex Sarr, Russell, Jesus. Everybody's out on this squad. So it's tough to really trust this team really at all to cover that number. I would say maybe it's just going to be an under. You got teams where you're going to have, like the Wizards, you just have a lot of chemistry issues, right? A lot of these guys not playing too well together. Defensively, the Rockets are just a pretty solid defensive team. I would lean for an under. Again, I don't think the Rockets are going to come out shooting and putting up an insane 130 type of number. This feels more like right around the 225.5 number. It feels more like a 110, 95 type of game, somewhere around there. Slow pace, a lot of missed shots, definitely with these two teams today. So I would lean an under on that one, 225.5. Low total compared to what you see nowadays in the NBA, but I would go under there. Celtics at Bucks. Celtics laying the 2.5 there on the road against the Bucks. I'm just not going to ever really be on the Bucks anytime soon. I know Giannis, he's good to go. Jaylen Brown, he's out due to an illness. Do we still think, though, the Bucks are going to win and cover this number? I mean, they haven't really played very much with Giannis recently. So now that he's back, you got to kind of get back to the rhythm of things. Celtics without Jaylen Brown, I mean, yeah, they might struggle. They got solid role players there that really can keep the ball moving. So, look, this might be one where maybe they just don't show up either. Kind of like the Rockets, they're on the road. Celtics on the road here after just getting a win at home against Philly. You're going on the road for one game against the Bucks, coming back home to take on the Hornets. No Jaylen Brown. This might be just kind of one of those games that Celtics don't show up either. I know I really wouldn't be betting much on the Bucks, but if I had to lean on this one, it'd be Bucks plus 2.5 there. Nuggets at the Jazz. Nuggets laying that 12.5 number against the Jazz. Definitely expecting a bounce back here against Timberwolves last night. They struggled shooting the ball there. Just not a great night against Minnesota. Minnesota's defense was a little bit too much for them. Jazz, again, we know what the Jazz are doing. We know the Jazz are tanking. Losers of 5 straight games there. I would not, for the rest of the season, I will not be playing the Jazz. Unless it's part of the betting strategy, we'll take it. But I would not be comfortable betting the Jazz at all as underdogs. If somehow they're a favorite, that either. I just would not be on this Jazz team at all for the rest of the season. Just, again, kind of a fade spot for me there. Nuggets, yeah, I like them. Again, laying the 12.5, sure. For a bounce back spot, probably. Maybe the over would be a better look here on this one, but not a game I'll be playing. Clippers at the Warriors. No John Collins still. No Steph Curry there for the Warriors. So, a lot of role players here for this game. I love one of the guys I've been a huge fan of. Huge fan. Ever since he was at Arizona, Houston played him tough. And, he's just been one of those guys that I've really enjoyed liking, watching ever since he's been on the Pacers. There's Mather in there. This dude just is, he can get his shots off. He can get to his spots. He's just a straight baller, man. I love Matherin. I think he has a bounce back game here. Only 9 points last game. If you were into props, I would take him on the points over for this game here. It feels like maybe a spot where he bounces back against this team. All the focus is going to be on Kawhi, I'm sure. So Matherin's going to have his chance there to go ahead and score. So I'd probably also lean Clippers here, the small number, -1.5. Warriors just, this team's really just trying to figure it out. You really don't know what you're going to get with them. I mean, kind of a blowout loss there against the Celtics and Spurs, and they win against the Nuggets, struggle against the Pelicans, blown out by the Lakers. It's really tough to tell what you're going to get with the Warriors, especially with no Steph Curry. I would be on the Clippers there, -1.5, but just to lean. None of these NBA games I think I'll be actually playing. More likely just leans on these. We'll probably look more into college basketball. But if you go over to sportbetextra.com, and again, you get that free trial, you go sign up, you'll have more access there to what we actually do pick at the end of the show. All plays will be posted as soon as this show is over. Into college basketball. One game's already ticked off. Norfolk State, Morgan State there. Morgan State already up 13-12. This is one, I believe, looking at it, these two played earlier in the season. Norfolk State, they lost to Morgan State. So this would have been one we taken Norfolk State to win here. I mean, if you want to take them now, -2.5. It was -3.5 earlier. Now the game's going, they're -2.5. Maybe take it live. But yeah, I would be on Norfolk State if you want to jump in on that one. If they go down by double digits by halftime, I will definitely be all over Norfolk State second half there on the money line. That's just the way these college basketball games go, kind of like Charleston. Charleston last night, personal play, took them live. There against UNC Wilmington, we had the +5.5, took them live on the money line as well because they had already lost that game earlier in the season. And then, of course, they go back and win 1-1. See that a lot in college basketball. Duke, NC State, number one Duke there. Not going to play this game. That's a weird number, at -9.5. You'd expect Duke to be much bigger point favorite than this. I mean, especially the way NC State has played recently. One win in the last 5 games, losing to Louisville, Miami, Virginia, Notre Dame, especially. I mean, of course, losing to Louisville, Virginia, those are tough, right? Win against North Carolina, yeah, that was with no Caleb Wilson. So, okay, not a big deal there. You don't take too much into that. And I also believe that was out without Visar. Yeah, he wasn't even in also. So that win, we don't put too much weight onto that one. NC State has not looked good recently. Duke has just been rolling. I would lean Duke, but again, that number gives some pause there. Why is it only a 9.5? Why is Duke not like a 14.5, 15.5 point favorite here? So I'm going to be off it. It could be one of those where it gets backdoored. NC State somehow down 12, hits like a 3 to cover the 9 or something ridiculous. So I would be off of that game and just be leaning Duke. Looking at some others, let's make our way down. There 6 o'clock games, there was not really much there other than that Duke NC State. We can go into some mid-majors. SFA and Incarnate Ward, yeah, I would be on Incarnate Ward, but that's a big number. That's 7.5. I just don't think they're going to keep it close enough here against Stephen F. Austin. They lost by 10 earlier in January. Maybe they, can keep it within that number. I wouldn't be confident in that one, so that will just be a pass for me there. Looking at a few others, let's go down to Montana State, Northern Arizona. Montana State 17-13 against Northern Arizona 10-20. Montana State laying that 6.5 number here on the road. These two played earlier. Montana State won 77-68, so right on that 9 number. They've played, okay as of late. Couple wins, couple losses here and there. Northern Arizona just is not a good team. 3 straight losses, 1 win against Sacramento State before that, and then a couple more losses. So they're not good, but they have the potential to cover. I just don't know if that number is where I want to be at. I would, again, this one would be more, I'd want a double-digit point spread here. Being that it's only 6.5, probably going to be off that one. Montana and Northern Colorado. So that's interesting. When these two played, Montana won. This was back in January, 88-79. So this one here, that number that we've talked about, we would want to be on Northern Colorado, but that 5.5 is just a little too much. That cutoff is the 3.5 type of range is what we go for in college basketball for this type of game. 5.5 is just a little much. I mean, it's definitely possible. I wouldn't confidently be laying the 5.5 with Northern Colorado, but if it wins, I would not be surprised either. Again, I'd love to have this more to 3.5 number. Not quite where we want to be, so we're most likely just going to stay off that one there. Lamar and Houston Christian, two terrible teams. They did play earlier. Lamar won 64-56 back in January. Lamar's not good. They've lost, what is that, 7 straight games, it looks like. Just not a good team. Houston Christian, either. Terrible team. But they've got a couple wins over the last 7 games there. So I would be leaning Houston Christian here, that minus or money line. Looks like they're plus 1.5 right here. I would be leaning that against Lamar. Again, they lost earlier against Lamar. This is probably going to be actually the play. Both schools not very good offensively, not very good defensively. Probably one of the worst turnover schools, both of them. Free throw percentage, not the best, only 70%. Three-pointers, neither can hit from 3. Neither shoot the ball very well. No points per game. Yeah, this is awful one to watch, but will be bet. This is one, it's just part of the system. You just put it in and bet the play and don't even watch it and look at the final score and just be like, yeah, that's just the way it is. That's what we'd be looking at with Lamar and Houston Christian there. So that's probably going to be back. We're going to go back to that one for the free play. Only a few more games. I mean, Idaho, Eastern Washington at home, 13-17, laying that 2.5 number there against Idaho. Yeah, when these two teams played earlier, I want to double check and see. Yeah, Eastern Washington lost 84-81 there. This is that number that we like, minus 2.5. This is the cutoff. That, like I said, 3.5 is the most we would go. I would take Eastern Washington minus 2.5 here. Don't know how confident this would be. More of a lean for me here, just because defensively they're pathetic. I would probably, again, just lean, but not be on this one here. The game of the night, Iowa State, Arizona. Number 6, Iowa State. Number 2, Arizona. Arizona laying a 7.5 number there. Iowa State, I mean, man, after that loss against BYU, yeah, you beat Utah, but then that loss against Texas Tech, that's a little concerning there against Texas Tech with, again, no Toppin. I mean, what's going on there? That's one that really Iowa State should have won as a 9.5-point favorite, and they lose by 9. No, just struggling from 3, rebounding, getting out rebounded. Yeah, defensively was nice, but Texas Tech just had a much better shooting night. That's just the kind of night it was. I would expect a bounce back type of night from Iowa State, but that 7.5 number, the way Arizona is rolling right now, I would not confidently be on Iowa State covering that 7.5. I would be more on Arizona here. I do expect Iowa State to shoot a little bit better, though, today. Arizona, though, defensively, they play good. I think, and what it feels like for this game is if Iowa State wants any chance at this one, they've got to be aggressive on the defensive end. They've got to force Arizona to take bad shots. Do not let Arizona get in the paint. That's just got to be the way it's got to be for Iowa State if they want any chance at this one here. Can't let Arizona hit threes. Can't get into foul trouble either, and just really got to rebound the ball for Iowa State. I would lean an under. That's a 149.5 number there. That's very close. I'd probably lean under on that one. Last two, Weber State, Portland State. And then Idaho State, Sacramento State. Not going to talk much about those 9 o'clock Central games. Yeah, if you want to stay up and watch them, great. I may or may not be. But again, we'll just kind of pass on that there. So let's just go right into the free play. Again, we're kind of nearing the end of this show. We're going to go back to Lamar and Houston Christian. Game of the night. Houston Christian here. Money line. So let's go see what type of odds we're getting on ProfitX. Again, that's where we get all of our plays on ProfitX. Use code Paul Rami. Go get you 20% up to $100 purchase match there. So into college basketball. Let's scroll down. See if we can find Houston Christian here. Plus 110 money line. We will take that, no problem. Houston Christian laying 1 unit, so $100 to win 110. Anytime we're getting plus money, we're just laying the 100. Minus money, we're laying that number to win 100. That's standard. That's how it goes. So we're going here. Houston Christian money line plus 110. That is a play. Go over to sportbetextra.com immediately after this. Plays will be posted on there. Go sign up. Get you a free 7-day trial. After that, another 1 week, another 1 month, 3 months. Join, win with us. Let's go Houston Christian money line tonight. I will see you all tomorrow.